welcome to Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky and I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart for another conversation for the ages.
Oh, telling your one for the ages. Everybody know that song?
No, explain.
It's a Paul Kelly song. I don't know if it's a Paul Kelly song or... No, it's a Paul Kelly song.
We
Anyway,
have established.
hello, Dave.
Did I say conversation for the ages? Because I meant one of the worst. I mean best. Matt, contribute something. Save this conversation.
I'm sorry.
Hey Dave, it's good to be here back in the podcasting studio. Jess and I just were at a music festival over the weekend, Meredith Music Festival. You pulled out of it late. I bought you a ticket and you held me hanging on for quite a while, a few months, even though you've got quite a well-paying job and I'm just a lowly shit-kicking businessman. Wheeling and dealing, sure.
Sure.
But in the end, I mean, I'm a philanthropist. I give more than I take. And I think the proof was in the pudding there with me offering to give you a ticket, I mean, for cost price.
Obviously.
And you taking months of umming and ahhing, basically saying, please hold it for me, or whatever you said. Maybe it wasn't in those exact words. And in the end, yeah, you're like, nah, Coldplay, actually, or whatever.
Yeah, and it was my first Meredith, and you two had both been like, you've got to come, and we'll go all together.
And we were going to do a live
We're gonna go
podcast there,
together.
which we did. We replaced Dave with two inferior
So two people still couldn't film, I suppose.
No.
God, no,
couldn't,
that
no.
tiny tush.
Yeah.
But it takes up so much space in
It's
our
like-
hearts.
It's like the
Yeah.
TARDIS.
They were very talented people, but
The tushes.
you decided that Chris Martin and his band, the Coldplay, were even more worthy of your time.
And may I ask, was it excellent? Because I have seen Coldplay before, and they're amazing.
It was a great concert. Yes, it was. And also, I will say, it's not Coldplay that means more. It was my girlfriend's birthday that meant more, and I took her along.
Yeah, okay, that seems reasonable. Even as the cold-hearted single person on this podcast.
You can respect that.
I can respect that.
But I would like to publicly apologise for not being there.
It's okay.
And it was a great time, I hear.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time.
Yeah, it was a super good time. The podcast is an absolute mess.
Oh, yeah, I was real drunk.
Oh, see, I haven't heard it back yet, guys.
So I'm not fully sure if we're even going to put it out. I don't know if it feels like it would almost be a waste of everyone's time.
Nah.
Is it genuinely unreleasable?
It's just,
No.
I mean, we an hour ago we realised we had we could access some recording equipment. So we put out on some of the social media sites, anyone got any questions or whatever. And we sort of just went through them and I interrupted people and our guests, Kappa and Simon, talked way more than we did. Kappa was talking about anal babies.
Oh, yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
You know, the
So,
weirdest
I mean,
part
can
about
you
that
really
is...
release a thing that talks about that? Even this podcast, I'm now thinking we might have to put in the bin just
Yeah.
because I said the words.
Yeah. And there was context, but I don't really remember the context.
I think he was saying men were delivering babies out their butts.
Yeah,
but
something
anyway, I
along
don't
those
want to
lines.
go back into that.
I don't want to relive it.
Wasn't it based on listener questions?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
Was
know
one of
how
them
we...
about anal babies?
No,
Definitely not.
but Kappa was there. Is
I
that
noticed,
sort of enough
noticed
said?
many tweets encouraging you to savage me when I wasn't there. So thank you very much, listeners.
There was a little bit of
There
that.
There was a
that?
tiny bit of
A little
savaging.
bit of that.
Bit of tiny tush stabbing rather than backstabbing. That's what I was going with.
Gotcha, right. Stabbing you in the tush, which is on your back, in a way, isn't it?
In a way.
It's your well back.
A conversation for the ages.
I'm not going to sing again.
It is so hot in this
very
podcasting
hot.
studio right now.
You know what's ridiculous is that it's like 30-something degrees in Melbourne at the moment. Like we're hitting summer now.
Celsius. This is high, like
Celsius.
mid-90s in Fahrenheit. I believe.
And I've just got a cold. Like on top of that cough I've had for the last month.
Oh, pardon me. Let me just ask for a BOP health update, please.
It's pray for Bob.
Hashtag pray for BOP.
Yeah, well, I just gave
Hashtag
it to you.
just health update.
I just gave it to you.
She's sick.
I'm sick. I have
It's a short tweet.
I got a cough and now a runny nose too. I'm not happy
It's
about
no
it.
good, and I'm so nervous about getting it off you. Please don't give it to me. I got a very busy time coming up.
I know, I won't. I'm not going to touch or breathe on either of you.
Thank you very much.
Like I normally do.
Yeah.
My normal greeting
Oh.
is to just come up and hug you and breathe on you.
Oh,
Hi, mate.
I love it.
He loves it, but I didn't do it this time, did I?
Live for it. Your breath is mine.
I mean,
Hey,
in the end, that's true. Really.
that's true.
I breathe in sickness, not oxygen.
Should we be announcing maybe our exciting news, somewhat exciting news about the comedy festival? Or should we, is that just sizzle for later? I've just left some sizzle out. I wonder if anyone could possibly guess.
Well, I think Matt may have let the cat out of the bag, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because before we recorded, we were like, let's not talk about that yet.
Do we?
Yeah, but that's okay.
All right.
Now that you've said it, we may as well talk about it.
Guys, I'm quitting the band to be a comedian at the Comedy Festival. No, we have just signed up to do our first ever live podcast, this very show, at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival here in our hometown.
I know we had joked that, well, not joked, but we'd mentioned that we'd do like a live show in Tasmania or we'd do live shows in Ohio. It does seem logical to do it in Melbourne, the city we all live in.
Just to start.
During the festival, the festival we all work in anyway.
But then we'll take the show on the road.
Oh, big time.
Assuming Ohio can pay for flights and accommodation, we will come and do a show.
There's enough of them. If they all put in a bit.
$1 each.
Do you think
that's not quite? No, there's not that many of them. I don't think.
What do they call their state premiers over there? What was Arnold
Governor.
Schwarzenegger? Governor. If the governor of Ohio, because Ohio's a state.
That's correct.
If the governor of Ohio is listening, which I assume he is, because everyone there probably is.
Interesting. You assume it's a he.
Or she.
Thank you.
Is listening.
50% chance.
Yep. Somewhat. That's somewhat 50-50.
Assuming that governors are assigned by birth rather than people voting, so every second baby just becomes a governor. Is that right? Is that how it works?
I believe so.
So yeah, one's a man, one's a woman, 2 men in a row, but there might be 2 women in a row. Yeah. So statistically, it's possible, Matthew.
I think it'd be a real boon for tourism for the state of Ohio if they did bring us over, because it would be 3 extra tourists.
That's 3.
Just for starters.
Surely that's a 300% increase.
We could even bring a friend each.
Do you think there's one tourist going to Ohio a year?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Oh, there you go.
His name is Mark.
Really?
Hello, Mark. Big fan.
He's also listening.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes,
I think he only actually went over there because he heard us talk about it so much. He's like, well, I've got to see what the fuss is about in bloody Ohio.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome, Ohio.
I'd pop by Akron if I was over there. Sure. Akron, Ohio.
Ohio.
What's Akron?
Akron, I think it's like a tire-making town. As I understand it.
Is that first stop on the Ohio tour guide?
Look, I must admit I'm reading between the lines here because I once saw a picture of a tyre with Akron, Ohio written on it. Right. And I've sort of put 2 and 2 together and picture the whole town gets together.
To build one tyre a year.
One family provides the rubber, the other one's got a mould, and other guys just sort of there to cheer him along.
Sure, he sounds like the most fun person in town.
And also, she as well is there cheering him along.
Interesting.
Jess, you happy?
Yeah, that's right.
Happy now?
Well, speaking of cheering them along, our point was that we're doing shows at the Comedy Festival.
That's right. We're going to do. We'll tell you more about the details. When it's in many months. It's not until April. Yeah, we should say that. So it's 4 Sunday afternoons in April.
I've really gone early on that one. Sorry about that, guys. I 100% did not hear you.
Did you think the Comedy Festival was next week?
I got excited.
That's okay. You're allowed to be excited. It's exciting.
It is very exciting.
I mean, it'll be out on the website shortly. My show's already on the website.
Nothing wrong with too much sizzle. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
You're like,
yeah, well, it's not like we sell 1 million tickets and then people withdraw because it's been so long.
Are all the shows out there, or just special shows up there?
Yeah, okay.
So far?
My show's not up yet. Okay,
is that what?
Yes.
Oh, is that look? You can understand my confusion.
Stop pointing to yourself.
They put the legends out first.
The real draw cards.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then us piece of shit shows have to fill the gaps.
And then our podcast.
Yeah,
that's right. We are on the scale of 1 to shit. Off the chart. Off the chart.
Yeah.
Even better.
Anyway.
So we'll be talking about that. But, man, because people actually have tweeted in, not just people from Melbourne, but other people from interstate, a couple even from overseas saying, hey, I'm coming to Melbourne next year. Are you going to do a show? Yeah. And they were thinking we were just doing our stand-up shows, but now they can actually bypass that.
Yeah.
And go straight for the podcast they already
do. Or, better plan, thank you. Yep.
Do the quadruple. Do the quadruple.
See the podcast on Sunday Arvo. Monday. No, there's no shows Monday. No, Monday.
My
go
show
see
is on
Dave's
Monday.
show. Tuesday. Tight Ass Tuesday. Go see Maddie Stewart. All right. Wednesday. Round out your week. Jess Perkins.
That's right.
Boom.
The rest of the week?
It's yours to just enjoy.
Craig David with Chill on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep. Chill on Sunday.
No, podcast on Sundays. The new.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I met this girl on Monday.
Took her to Matt on Tuesday. Then we saw Jess on Wednesday. And on Thursday, Friday,
It was so good they went
Saturday.
back.
Do go on Sunday.
Do they see your show 4 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
It's
Saturday.
a really good show.
There's a lot to
Dave.
pick up. Every time
It's
you
complex.
see it,
A lot
there's
of-
more and more layers are unveiled.
Is this true, Jess? Are you aiming for some sort of mind-blowing philosophical...
Dave, if you're aiming for anything less, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
I would
Don't
have,
waste people's time.
well,
mate.
I withdraw my show.
Good call.
I've just withdrawn my show.
Anyway,
think it's probably
we've been talking
for
for
the
a very
best.
long time, and
Yeah.
we have a report to do.
Yeah,
So let's- how
I'd
about
love to
we-
do it.
Well, we don't have a report to do, Jess. I say smugly. It is the beard himself, Matt Stewart's turn to report. And this is very exciting because this is the first listener-voted topic.
That's right.
So, Matt, do you want to explain how this works? On Patreon, if people contribute a certain amount...
Yeah, which is nearly everyone, because I think it's one of the lower levels.
I think it's everyone.
It is everyone.
$2 plus,
Then they...
which is everyone. So no one's done the $1. Everyone's gone, oh...
Oh,
Every-
that's worth $2. That's nice.
Every episode I'll do a topic. I'll pick 3 topics out of the hat, put them into onto a poll website, send out the link. The votes came in so quickly, and I love this because I can see how long people take to choose.
Oh, what are the stats on that? That's cool.
Man, people did not take a lot of time.
Oh, really? They
Well,
were...
nearly everyone eligible to vote did. I think we're at that stage. We're at 60 or so voters. Jess is in the corner blowing her nose because she is a sicko,
I'm trying to do it subtly.
and she's trying to do it subtly. You heard her say that. Anyway, so 60 odd people voted out of, I think now there's
Did 69
80 or so.
people vote? Because that is what I want to hear.
Then yes.
I'm
We've actually
back,
capped
and
our
that's
Patreon.
A funny question.
We've capped our Patreon at 69 patrons, so thank you, but we're done.
People took between 7 seconds and a minute 20.
A minute 20.
So
That's
someone
I
really
quite
had to
like,
think
yeah,
about it.
I like the thinking.
I hope if you're listening, you know if you took 7 seconds.
And you know if you're
Bang.
the minute 20 person too.
Only the people who vote will know the 2 losing topics because they go back into the hat. I don't want to necessarily
Oh,
give
yeah,
them
I
away.
think you should get rid of them. Yeah, that's cool.
So
Because
that-
Jess and I, we were actually told to not look,
we're
so
not
we
allowed to
haven't.
see it,
We haven't
yeah.
seen
Yeah,
it.
you guys don't know what the 3 possible topics were, but those 60 odd people do, and so do I, obviously.
Oh,
Was it?
wowzers.
Was
Okay.
it a landslide?
It wasn't quite a landslide, but there was definitely a gap
Took
between
it down.
first, second, and second, third. We're clear favourites here,
Excellent.
and the winner. Oh well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to ask a question about it, and as always, I ask the best question.
Is
Only
the
the
question-
finest,
Well-crafted questions.
handcrafted.
Uh-huh.
Is the question, which topic won the poll?
No, it's going to be, have you heard of insert topic title?
it's even better than that.
Oh, great.
I think. Well, if that's your bar, then I've bloody surpassed it. I haven't even touched it with my big butt as I flew over the high jump bar.
I don't think your butt's big. You
You got
got
that sporting analogy, Bob?
That works.
Yeah.
as you Fosby flopped over.
Fosme.
I was a
flopped.
year 7 high jump champion, so
Wee, I was terrified of it.
You a
I
flopper?
was good at high jump. Oh,
Everyone flops.
you
Yeah.
got to flop. You got to flop.
It was an Aussie guy who
Yeah,
was
they
Frosby, right? Who invented
Yeah, that's
the
right.
flop?
Yeah, and then people told him that he was silly,
Yeah.
and then they all did his technique because they went, "Oh, actually, hang on, he's winning."
They used to Superman it. They used to do all sorts of. They
Oh, that
used
was
to
crazy.
split their leg. There was a scissor star.
I was gonna say
scissor kick.
yeah.
There was the low flying.
Duck.
Yeah,
Could eat the ass out of a low flying duck. As you guys
I
know.
love that saying.
So-
It's a great saying.
It's-
It means you're hungry, Jess.
I know, I get it.
And I haven't had dinner. I wonder why it was front of
Ah.
mind.
it's a bit like how Usain Bolt before he
It
ran.
means you're hungry, Jess. Like you didn't know that. Okay. I'm almost deliriously hungry, and it's so hot. If it's 32 outside, I reckon it's 48 in this.
Okay, that's
booth.
probably hyperbole.
No.
I
That's,
reckon that'd be about right.
you reckon it's 48.
It's
I reckon
not
it-
48 in
Oh,
here.
get your thermometers out then.
I don't have one.
All
I've
right.
got it up my butt.
Is there like a
Lucky for you, right?
Lucky.
is there like a menu log for instruments? We need a thermometer stat.
Oh,
Order.
instrument. Gotcha.
They bring it over.
Not like musical instruments.
Oh no, you should have that as well. They also do saxophone.
Can you get a thermometer and a ukulele? I feel like having a little
Bit-
ditty,
I mean,
That'd be
if they do instruments, they do instruments, am I right?
right?
Don't bloody tell us your menu log of the instrument world if you can't bring a uke.
Right?
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 And measuring cups.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what you're telling me you don't
Kitchen
even do
instruments.
measuring cups, which you can play as little drums.
Or like spoons. play the spoons.
Yeah,
Anyway,
eating
sorry.
instruments.
Or
Yeah.
you could.
Why haven't we started
I
yet?
don't know. Sorry.
I feel funny. Great, but not in a
I
funny
feel
way.
pretty.
Here is my
singing
question.
Too much. I'm
Here's my
sorry.
question
Yes,
to
question.
you guys, which is a superbly handcrafted. Like the efficiency of this is majestic.
I get the feeling you might be talking it up because the question's not there. Is it?
I'm trying to think of a question.
Is he
yes.
stalling?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here we go. What is the most battle-ready animal?
Lions. No.
Oh, that's not a bad
Camels. No.
Elephant.
Elephant.
suggestion.
No.
That's pretty good. They're good in a battle.
Battle. Humans. Trick question.
Kangaroos. They're kind of
Oh,
aggressive, aren't
armadillo.
they? Ooh.
That is all right. Nearly all of those are better.
Oh.
And armadillo. It's got the cuteness. You're like, hey, what's this little thing? And if you turn on it, it's got the armor, but they also have flamethrower mouths.
Wombats. Because they look
Wombats are
kind of cute
great.
and fluffy, but they can really run and they can hurt you.
Continent-wise, Jess is way warmer.
Okay, it's one of ours.
So it's not an
It's
armadillo.
one of our guys.
One of ours. Okay, our animals.
Oh,
It's not going to be
I forgot-
platypus, is it?
Yeah, platypus.
Platypi.
Phil- Like
Oh, that's
lizards?
one of my favorites. I'm
They're
a big
pretty cool.
monotremes fan.
Sure. Who isn't?
Yeah.
Echidna.
Yeah, no, but good monotreme.
An
They're the
emu.
two. It is an emu.
An emu.
An emu.
Well, no, it's an emu.
Emu. I know.
You weirdo.
I'm just being adorable.
Are you trying to talk in a language that our Ohioans can
Yeah,
understand?
an emu.
And who was
would
the
say
other?
emu.
Some other American wanted us to mention their state
Oh,
more.
yeah.
What was
Florida?
that? Florida.
Melbourne, Florida.
No, there was another one as well. It was like, they're not just in Ohio,
Crocodile
guys.
country.
Well,
Oh,
there's
right.
48 others. We may as well start listing.
Okay.
Arkansas. Jacksonville,
Texas.
Mississippi, Texas.
New Mexico.
Are we genuinely doing this?
No, I don't want to
no,
do this
please
because
don't.
I'm
Abort.
done. I'm
So
out.
emu. So the topic's about emu, but specifically a big historical event in the Australian historical
History.
Society.
book of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Look,
In primary school, we all have to read that book.
yeah,
I
The
remember it
biggest
well.
Australian historical big book of stuff.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
They use big twice for some reason, but anyway, whatever.
Well, hey, it was quite large.
It was a big event in the early 1930s. I'd never heard of it.
The early 1930s.
It was called the Great Emu War.
Oh.
Any knowledge of this?
So who
Dave
was
is like a
battling
fact
who?
guy. I bet you've heard of it, Dave.
I've heard of it, absolutely.
Were the
Jess, have you
emus
heard of
fighting
it?
the people? Were the emus fighting each other? Were the emus not fighting at all?
Or
Or
is
was it nothing to do with the
There's
emus?
there's one very brief question you can ask, which will help you find out all of this.
Okay.
Which is, Matt, can you please start the report?
Oh,
I
is
thought
it
was
do go
gonna
on?
be Do go on, but Dave, what the fuck?
It's like he's forgotten the name of our
He
own
missed
podcast.
one
Well,
short podcast at a festival.
Well, to be honest, do go on just isn't a question. That's why I didn't consider that.
That's a good
wait,
point.
Okay, hang on. Please, can you do go on a question?
Or do go.
Because you started it like that. You just said this, the last three words of your question could have been do go on. Anyway, what are we doing here?
Matt, do go on.
Fuck. Command. How about command? One
Command.
short command.
Do go on.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Tell me what to do. I love being told.
After the First World War, the Australian government struggled to find work for the
The
thousands
emus.
of emus,
Oh.
and
I was kidding.
but also
Left orphaned by the war.
but also returned soldiers.
There's
and
many parallels between return soldiers and emus. I think we'll probably find that.
Long legs.
Uh,
Weird faces.
well, I was going to say they all have two legs, but that's probably not true.
Oh, no.
Not the emus. Oh, probably the emus.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I might have been a one-legged emu. Oh, he'd have to lean against a tree a lot. Hey, Barry, can you go get some food for me? Because I cannot leave the tree.
Yeah, I know, Greg. You remind me every fucking day about the one leg thing. I haven't forgotten. I got you some food. Stop bringing it up all the time.
Potentially, before we go on, we should, just in case anyone doesn't know what an emu is,
It's so funny, but yeah, I think so.
Good point.
because it's the
you-
second tallest.
Would you say a shit ostrich?
Yeah,
It's the second biggest bird in the world after the ostrich. Very similar in a lot of ways. It looks like a really scummy ostrich.
Yeah, they're looking
nowhere near as
dirty.
pretty. They got these gross faces.
There's something kind of cute about
They've
it.
got sometimes you can get good looking emus, but it's very rare.
Did you ever read the book? I think it was Edward the Emu, and then there was Edwina as well.
Oh, the ballerina?
Yeah. Oh, I think Edwina,
Edwina the
might
ballerina.
I mean, the
Might have
illustrator did a lot of favours for the emu.
True.
Emu
And they had
race.
big, cute cartoon eyes. They don't have those
No,
in
they
real
don't
life.
at all. They got like these gross,
Beady
scummy
eyes.
And they breathe with their mouth open. Yeah,
like me greeting you.
They look like ostriches who've,
Fallen on hard times.
fallen
Yeah.
Lost a leg, leant against a tree.
got into heroin.
But they,
Yeah, they crack ostriches.
they're one
Just
of
imagine that.
one of two animals on the Australian coat of arms.
Correct.
The other one being, of course, the red kangaroo. Mm-hmm. The biggest of the
Do you
kangaroos.
know why they're on the coat of arms? Dave's going to know.
No, I don't know.
You don't?
I don't know it either, which makes me feel like this isn't true.
It is true.
Is it because they can't walk backwards?
Yeah, they can't take a step backwards.
So I've heard that, but then
That doesn't sound real.
Why?
Because Dave doesn't know it, and he knows everything.
That's true. I'm
You know,
doubting
it wouldn't
I
make it-
always lose confidence in a
Yeah.
fact if Dave hasn't heard it before.
I
Yeah.
have heard that. But you know what would make it even harder to step backwards? That's if you chopped off one of their legs.
they
Also can't step
hop
forward.
No,
backwards.
exactly. Just forever stuck in time.
And is that true? And oh no, the false one is something about sharks can't swim backwards or something. What's that thing? They die if they swim backwards or something.
They die if they stop.
Wow, what are we? All right. Anyway,
Anyway.
back to the war.
Yeah, back to the war.
Do
Emu
mention the
War?
war. I will.
So
Thank
you said it was just after the Second World War. People are coming back with no jobs.
So the end of the Second
no
World
legs.
War, Dave. Not 1990. 1919 even.
1990.
No, 1918.
1918. Sorry, 1914, 1918.
That's right.
Okay, so and then 10 or so years later, the Great Depression hit. So things are tough, and Australia's hit quite hard because they rely on agricultural exports a lot.
You will 100% not believe this, but during the Great Depression, have I told you that my great uncle was the Prime Minister of Australia at that time?
You have mentioned this, and it blew my mind, and I'd forgotten, and I've blown again.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's amazing.
What's his-
James Scullin. He was Prime Minister during the Depression. It's my
Wow.
great uncle.
That is not a good time to be a politician.
No, he was like, oh yeah, Prime Minister, and then boom, Depression. He was like, damn it!
Ugh.
Literally, I think
people are going to
within-
blame me for
I think
stuff.
within the first few days of him being Prime Minister.
Hey, I don't
The
want
Great
It's a
Depression
worldwide thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not good.
I don't want to put down this great uncle of yours, but there is definitely a correlation could be drawn between how many depressions we've had and how many
Members of my family
have been Prime Minister.
Agreed.
Also, how great the Depression is and how great Jess's uncle is.
Yeah.
That's right. The further you go back, the greater the depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jess's great uncle was Prime Minister during the Great Depression.
Yeah. It's not good.
I've only got a limited amount of data, but I'm pretty sure I can extrapolate those
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah. I think
Thank
that's
you.
about right. Anyway, do go on.
All right, that's probably fair. So the Great Depression kicked in, about 11 years after the end of the war. I think it was around 1929. So things are tough, and particularly in Western Australia, where the climate's tough and that sort of stuff. And they're looking for there's so much space out there, so they're trying to use the space, and they're also trying to give something to do to all these returned servicemen who are looking for stuff. So they offered or they promised to give cash incentives to these ex-soldiers to go start wheat farms in the
desert.
basically in the desert, in country WA.
Wheat farms.
Wheat farms.
Oh.
In their mind, they're like, wheat farms are going to get us out of this trouble. It didn't turn out that way. And the economic troubles brought on by the Great Depression hit Australia quite hard, and the price of wheat continued to fall despite the government going, I reckon wheat's
I reckon if you bury the crops deep enough in the sand, it's going to start growing. Even if it does grow, it's worth less than.
Feel so ripped off. I feel like on some level you trust the government to understand these things, and when they go, and we're backing you with like cash. So, which they didn't come through with in the end.
Oh no!
Lied to their return service.
They're just stuck in the desert with sand.
A similar thing happened in recent times in Australia. There was the official word was orange farmers get into Valencia oranges. juice oranges. That is the future, right?
I love this little rumour, like the Prime Minister's out there going, you know what I hear, Barry? Valencia, back Valencia. Naval is done.
Orange juice, huge.
And
Gonna be
It tastes
huge.
quite good.
So apparently farmers ripped out their navel crops and put in the Valencia ones, and it was a dud tip.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately.
What? And then so
That's the thing I vaguely remember. May or may not be true.
and the Prime Minister came out and was like, Barry, you're an idiot. I said naval. I said naval.
And orange juice has...
It's poisonous. It's fucking poisonous, Barry.
It's the biggest cause of cancer.
Whoops. I told you it had the big C. You thought I meant vitamin. I meant cancer. I meant cancer.
Oh, no, he did. He definitely did. I've got it here in the minutes.
Yeah, look at that. I'm the Prime Minister. You can trust me.
You can see here in the minutes it says the big C, bracket cancer,
Cancer.
not
Not
the
not
other
vitamin.
C, not just C. I mean, this is all unspoken. I'm reading between the lines. Well, I'm writing between the lines.
I mean, Barry, C is a
and
very
also
versatile
between the
letter.
brackets, so...
It's a very versatile letter, Barry.
See?
It could...
You see what I mean.
we all see.
Little joke there to finish it off. Now, we'll catch you next week for our next meeting. Thank you. No, thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by. But I'm in a lot of trouble.
No, Barry, I've closed the door and I don't reopen these.
So.
What a scene. Wow.
And scene.
And
And
sink.
sink.
Oh, I thought the C callback was... Yeah, all right.
Much better.
We are too dumb for your
Well,
humour.
We're
That's
just a
fine.
couple of C's. Clarence.
Clarence's obviously being short for the word that we
Cancer.
don't say on this podcast very often
Anymore.
anymore.
Since I put in the rule.
Turned out Dave was a little... Anyway. We're being sidetracked so much so early.
Little Clarence.
You are a little Clary, aren't you? Bloody little Clary, but we love you. All right, good on you.
I need to blow my nose again.
Yeah, go on.
You go, I'll just be behind
Matt
you.
will just start reporting.
Just don't want to be right at the microphone, you know. Sorry, everybody. Please go on.
So the wheat
No,
crop
hang on. Please go on.
Do go on.
Oh, you really are sick.
in the head. Bloody fix yourself up, mate. You're a mess. So the wheat crops were tricky enough to grow in the barren conditions of the West, but things were made tougher by a huge horde of around 20,000 emus.
Where the fuck? 20,000? Where do they come from?
So there's a few different ideas about why these big groups of emus were attracted to the area. Some were saying because of the farmers and the fences they put up, it affected their normal travel route.
Sure.
You know, normally they go down the bloody Nepean Highway.
Oh, straight down.
Bung
Take a left.
They bung a left,
They
thank you.
bung a left. They grab a pie from Sturt's Cafe.
They
And
chuck a Yui.
straight back on the big open road. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean,
And supposedly maybe this led to their feeding habits being out of whack, and then you know they've all like got a bit confused, but they found all these.
And they accidentally formed an army.
They formed an army accidentally.
Accidentally. Everyone got a rank. They all got a salary. There was a bit of a revolt. Captain Jones won. He's the new leader, the dictator of the emus.
But I also read that the emus were just heading on their normal path, which would normally be to the coast. From the centre to the coast, or vice versa. You know, that's sort of between the seasons. They mated,
honestly,
and then they went, bam, we're off to the coast.
They
We're
head
gonna
to the
surf,
beach,
really
yeah.
Go to the
good.
beach for the Christmas holidays. They come back for term 1.
But instead, what they hit were these new lands that had been knocked down, cleared. Crops of wheat were there, which they kind of enjoyed, and big dams with water in them, you know, for the livestock or whatever as
Hey
well.
guys, we don't have to go to the beach. There's a swimming pool right here.
Reggie Didge. So that's possibly the reason. Probably more likely that was the reason. And as well as eating a lot of wheat, they also turned out to be a bit of a pain in the ass because they forced large holes in farmers' fences, allowing other pests in as well.
oh no. Other pests like door knockers,
Yeah.
Bloody hawkers,
walkers,
Mormons.
Yeah.
so many Mormons.
So many Mormons.
Mormons
In the 1930s, Central Australia.
Spreading good news.
Spreading good news, that's right. They
Well,
accidentally formed an army.
Then there was a Mormon army,
Yeah.
and they took on the emus.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So, well, Jess, don't jump ahead here.
I know, sorry.
Let Matt tell the story, but we all know how it ends.
So the farmers were not having a great time, right? Their crops were being taken apart by the emus. So they got together and they informed the Western Australian state government of the issues they were facing, which resulted in a meeting with George Pearce, I think later became a Sir George Pierce. No big deal.
Any relation to you, Jess?
Not that I'm aware of, but I will claim him as you cannot prove he is not.
Oh.
And his gig at the time was Federal Minister of Defence. The meeting led to Pierce giving the go-ahead.
Against emus.
Well, not at,
Specifically.
at that stage, it was really against humans. But yeah,
The Mormons mostly.
He had to call his secretary. Hello, does my army fight animals as well, or
Yeah.
am I just the human
Is that
guy?
my jurisdiction? Is there a different guy for animals?
Do we need to call a vet? Do we? Can I shoot an emu?
I would also like it if the vet's secretary's name was Yvette.
you would like that, would you?
I'd like that a
well,
lot.
then it is.
I'd like
It
like
is and
that.
it was.
I'd like that. Oh,
That's a
good.
fact.
Can I shoot an animal?
A vet, can I shoot an emu? In the face, preferably. Don't ask why. I'm a private man. This is a private matter.
I want you to go into politics. You'd be great at it.
First rule, shoot something.
But it'd be so good because
First rule is shoot something.
he'd have to wear a suit and he'd look like a toddler at a wedding, you know, where they wear suits that are way too big for them. Love to see
They
you in a
couldn't
suit.
possibly make a suit that size.
They
could
couldn't.
Is that
They
what
could-
you're suggesting, Jess?
There's too much fabric in the world to make a suit that my size.
Or just the smallest pieces of
You could-
fabric.
No,
The
you'd have
scraps.
you'd have to get some sort of microscopic thread.
Little tissues. Let's make a little jacket out of
They
tissues.
just wrap me up in a box of Kleenex.
We just swaddle him like a little babe.
Here's a little babe.
If you squint your eyes, you can't see anything anyway.
So the meeting with Sir Pierce, the Minister for Defence, led to him giving the go-ahead to launch a military operation
No.
involving a small group of soldiers from the 7th Heavy Battery Royal Australian Artillery
Jesus.
being drafted in to take on the emus.
To take on the emus.
It really feels like it went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I know those bloody Turks beat us in Gallipoli, but there's no way we're going to be beaten by a couple of emus. Let's do this. Come on.
It's actually 20,000 emus.
20, what? 20,000.
20,000. So
All right. Let's do it anyway.
we've already released the press release, I'm afraid.
All right. Well,
Yvette,
Gallipoli was a fuck up. I bet.
can I shoot 20,000 emus? In the face, preferably.
Don't ask why.
Yvette? Hello?
Hello, is this thing working?
The battalion head over by sea, landing off the coast by several miles,
Why do we
giving
have to
the
go by
emus.
sea? Well,
Look,
all right, we're already in the same country as the emus. Well, the words just come in from Winston Churchill, who is the one that fucked up Gallipoli as well.
Unfortunately,
to launch the boats,
the emus had the upper hand. They had the cliff, and
they landed at the wrong beach, and the emus were waiting for them with machine guns at the top of the hill.
no, I think they'd caught a train or drove over or something.
Got on a bus.
Yeah, probably just caught a bloody bus.
Just a V-line over.
Just jumped on the coach.
Just a public bus.
Just
Caught the
623.
The Garn.
I've probably got the Garn.
The Garn.
None of these references make any sense to international
The Garn's a
listeners.
big train
It's a big train.
that goes across the country through the desert.
There you go. That's the Garn. A V-line's just like a fuck. This is gonna take forever.
Shit train.
It's a shit train that goes sort of original area. The 623 is a bus that goes from like Malvern to
You
St
can't
Kilda.
wait. Sorry, I missed the start. You're going through all transport.
No, just the things that I just mentioned.
A
Okay,
bus
great.
is like a large car.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
you can fit lots of people, approximately 52 in an
They're an
average
Aussie
size
thing,
bus.
right?
Yeah,
Buses?
52.
Buses.
But people often break the law.
Okay.
I don't know, does the 52 include the driver? I don't think so. He's got his own special seat. Or she. Matt, do go on.
They were led by Major C.W.P. Meredith and armed with Lewis machine guns and approximately 10,000 rounds of ammunition.
That's a lot of rounds.
Well, that's not enough rounds. Hang on, 10,000 rounds. Hang on, there's 20,000 emus.
At this stage, though, I don't think they realised
I was gonna say.
how many emus
All right,
there were.
guys, you're going to have to use one bullet for every two emus.
Try and
If
line
you
them
could
up.
line them up, that'd be
Line 'em up.
ideal.
Literally 2 birds with 1 bullet.
If you could ricochet from one skull to the other, that would really help me out.
And actually, it would look pretty cool too.
Because if you can't do it, we're going to have to go hand to hand with the bastards.
Imagine trying to punch an emu.
Have you ever punched an emu? Corporal?
Yvette,
Yvette, can
Can
you punch
I?
an emu?
preferably in the face.
Ideally not. I mean, we're meant to. We took a Hippocratic vet oath where we must.
Yvette, stop asking so many questions.
Okay. So Pierce gave the go ahead for the operation on the proviso. We had a couple of
Man, I hope it's fucked up.
Nah, it's not fucked up. It's just tight. It's just a bit tight.
Oh.
On the proviso, the transport of the troops would be paid for by Western Australia, and the farmers would provide food, lodgings, and stump up the cash for the ammunition. So it's like, we'll let you do it, but we're not paying for any of it. So it's kind of like a low-risk thing for the federal Australian government.
It'd be pretty easy to distance yourself from that.
Yeah.
Should be. The minister is said to have seen a bit of a silver lining in the deployment, as he felt the emus would provide live target practice for the soldiers in peacetime.
Ugh.
Well, okay.
I mean, I don't know if they would have fully prepared them for the Second World War later. None of the Nazis had such a big bulbous body and tiny pea heads.
They moved like an emu.
They run really fast, don't they?
Yeah, they're really, really
real
fast.
quick, aren't they?
But sir, the Nazis don't move like the emus at all. This is not what I prepared for. They speak German, they don't do this.
They don't do that, do they? What noise does an emu make, Maddie?
I
Sure
go,
it is.
got a ciggy?
That's
What are you
actually-
up to? Oh, that feels mean to people who need cigarettes.
Feels kind of mean to emus.
Nah, fuck emus. Big dumb birds. They're the dumbest. Oh, well, I mean, this story doesn't, so far.
They also can't fly if we didn't paint that picture
Yeah.
before.
Big stupid birds with little dumb wings. It is also thought that the federal government were keen to be seen to be helping the Western Australian farmers, as around this time a movement was growing for WA to secede, not succeed.
Although we're still bloody waiting for them to succeed at anything. Nah, fuck you, WA.
Nah, look, they do all right.
They're all right.
They're
a
our
third
Texas.
Of,
They're huge.
They're fucking huge. They're a third of the whole country.
So there was a movement for them to secede and claim independence from the rest of Australia at that time. It was building up steam. So the federal government were like, look, let's help. Let's be seen to be helping them out.
If you let them kill 2 emus each, that's one of their demands for some reason.
Did you guys know about this movement in the 1930s?
About
for
WA
WA to
trying to-
try and break away from
I had no idea.
Dave?
Yeah, I think a couple of different states have tried to do it.
This was the most interesting one. They actually got it all the way to having a vote. So they had a referendum on it in WA.
Wow.
And it was the following year in 1933.
So is this
How do you guys?
after the war or before the war? Emu War, this is.
This is after the Emu War.
Okay.
Or after the bulk of the.
Well, if they let them kill a few emus each, I reckon they've probably calmed down.
What
They've
kind
had
of
their taste
percentage do you reckon? Do you reckon it got close? Or
Close.
How many?
Probably 60-40 stay. 60 stay.
JP?
70-30, just for a point of difference. Don't actually care.
68% voted in favour of leaving.
Oh. Oh!
Hang on. Then why
Really?
didn't they leave?
They've left. You guys didn't know that they're not in Australia anymore? Despite this...
I mean, they're still attached.
Despite this, that's a huge vote to leave. Like, the Brexit vote was 52 or
That's
53.
Yeah,
insane.
really close.
Wouldn't it be cool, though, if
The
if they
Australian
had decided
referendum was...
and they'd, cut themselves loose and, drifted off into the ocean?
They just dug a big trench.
They're like,
Just
bye.
dynamited along that line. I mean, it's a nice big flat line to do it on.
It's a clean line, isn't
It's
it?
a nice clean line.
Yeah.
Victoria's the only one with
Victoria's
the
a real
weird...
jagged.
I mean, it's the river. you
Yeah,
know.
it is.
That's what you
It's-
get for having a river as a boundary.
Which I think is
border.
quite nice. It makes it very obvious. Just last week, I drove to New South Wales, and I knew when I was there because I crossed the river. I was like, "Oh, river! I'm in New South Wales now."
Because the river counts as
Presumably,
New South
you were
Wales as
using
well.
a bridge.
No,
You were on a bridge.
You didn't
No,
Burke and Wills it.
I parked
Get
the
a
car
punt.
and swam
Oh,
across.
no, they didn't get a punt. They wanted a punt.
No, they
Old
got-
episode. I'm getting sidetracked again.
Sorry.
Camels drowned. Anyway.
So 68% said leave, and somehow they went, nah,
What-
you're not that keen.
Despite so the
pain.
British Parliament had to tick it off. The Queen had to approve it as well. But
I believe that'd be king at the time.
like a couple of years later, they were like, we're not going to, because also the Australian Federal Parliament would have had to have got it through both houses, and they're like, it's not going to happen. So they sort of just went, let's just stop talking about this, and hopefully WA will forget.
I think that's probably what's going to happen with Brexit as well.
Yeah, maybe, because that is what happened. In time, the WA, Western Australian economy improved and the movement towards secession
People just forgot.
ran out of steam.
And now, like, it was like generations ago, and we don't really even know about it. Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't vaguely remember hearing about it, but that's about it.
Yeah, but that's because you were alive in the 30s.
That is true.
You led the revolt.
Yeah, I'm like, can't go, I'll stay.
And then what did the emu
We're
say?
nothing without you. We love all your huge desert
So much of it.
and your sweet surf beaches.
I haven't been to WA. It's the only state I haven't been to now.
It's really good. I'm going there in January. Please come see me perform at the
Oh, okay, now he plugs.
Noodle Palace. All right, great. Over around the late January. Check out your local guides.
Check your local...
If you're in Perth. Assuming you're in Perth.
Hear that, Ohio? Check your local guides for details of Matt's Western Australian show.
That's Perth, Australia. I don't want anyone Perth shy or in Scotland getting confused.
Sure.
Okay. Where my Stuart family is from. Anyway, look, sidetracked again. I keep splitting the party. The deployment of soldiers set off to the troubled area of Western Australia on November the 1st, 1932. It was about 250 k's or more northeast of Perth. That gives you a little picture in your head. And when they arrived, many of the farms had already been smashed by the emus. And farmers were being driven from their properties.
You couldn't be
in my head, I'm picturing
house.
like the emus going... You know that episode of The Simpsons where the dolphins
Yes.
drive the humans into the sea? Yeah, I'm picturing that.
That's creepy.
What, so people are driven from their house?
Yeah, the emus get in a car and go, get in, mate. I'm going to drive you from your house.
I'm going to drive you to the edge of your property boundary and you can't come back.
Nah, you can stay there at the edge, but no further, no closer. You can go further.
Please.
Jeez, that'd be a brutal... Well, that emu is heartless. They're making them stuck on the boundary. They're just walking around the property line. Anyway, weirdos,
See,
emus.
in that case, it'd be nice if the boundary was a river, hey?
That's true. You could drown yourself. Is that what you mean?
They probably should just have a dip.
You just thinking live in the river forever?
No, it's just nice to sit by a river, isn't it?
It is nice to sit by it, but you're talking about making them live forever in a river.
I didn't say in, I said by.
Can emus swim?
Can people swim?
Well, look.
Not in the 1930s.
It's a case-by-case thing.
Interesting. With emus or people?
Probably both.
Both. Bit of both.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
You can
interesting.
teach an emu to swim.
Is
I've said that before.
Is there a breed of aqua emu?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Most
wow.
definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're called seal emus.
Selemus.
Sleemus. That's a fact.
Definitely.
Saltwater emus.
Yeah, they're bigger than the other ones.
Anyway, the emus outnumbered the small band of soldiers by quite a margin.
How many soldiers are we talking?
A handful. 1 battalion.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Right, okay.
That's a lot of emus to
Couple
take
of
on.
hundred.
No, less. Like, I think we're talking less than 100 by quite a while.
So 99.
99 or less,
Or-
to be specific.
Hey, we want to be specific. Is 99 or less?
I think it's close. It's like closer to. It's almost single figures. I think it's a small.
Like
it's a very
let's
small.
say a dozen.
So like 2 soldiers have
dirty
turned
dozen.
up. So Barry's turned to Morris, and they've said,
Let's name them all.
"Wow, we've got to kill 10,000 emus each, with 1 bullet each. Line them up.
Why won't they stay still?
Stay still.
Oi.
Oi.
I'm trying to shoot through you and 10,000 of your mates. Stand still.
Are they attacking in formation, or are they just going crazy?
Yeah, flying V like Mighty
There are
Ducks.
little bunches.
And like, are they waiting until you're at the bottom of a hill and then
They're
like
not
rushing down and then from all sides and you're like, oh, we're surrounded! Oh my god!
I'd say less.
One comes charging in on the back of a horse. The emu archers start firing arrows up the back.
They start firing them.
Firing them.
Firing the arrows.
Fire the arrows! Fire them! Fire the arrows!
Father Emu.
And we all lost our minds.
I feel like it's so hot
It's
in
hot
here.
and it's late and I'm very tired.
I think I've got a temperature.
Father, arrows.
Fire!
I think it was less like them attacking in formation and more that it was almost like they were doing the rope-a-dope sort of thing. They were
leaning on the edge of the road.
they were leaning on the and waiting, and they were
Taking
absorbing
fire.
the punches or the bullets.
Imagine that. Hey, don't worry about it. If you lean on the edge of the rope, bullets can't hurt you. They go through you. They just shake through your bones.
That's crazy.
Especially if you're a big flightless bird.
So the
Little
soldiers
dumb
the
wings.
soldiers arrived in the area, and like always, there's a slightly different varying accounts. But some said they were just out of range, so they were pretty useless at. They didn't even hardly bother shooting at them. Others said they just were missing. They're shooting and missing. They were
So
ducking and weaving. The emus are so fast, they just weren't able to connect to
Even
them.
with machine guns.
Yeah.
God.
Um,
I think that someone is making excuses for being a poor shot.
there are varying reports as to how these early days of the offensive went, but the consensus seems to be that the emus were way on top.
Wow.
The soldiers realised they needed to take a more strategic view on how to get on top here. And after hearing word that a pack of around 1,000 emus were heading towards a nearby dam, yeah, they were marching towards the dam.
Did they have an emu on the inside giving them information?
Yeah, there was an inside
He's
bird.
whispering it into like a homing pigeon's ear, who would then fly across and be like, "I've just been told that there's 1,000 on the way here, but if you cut them off by Dodgy Creek Road."
That's kind of it. Only I think a human told them, and they
Which human?
one of the farmers.
Farmer Joe has just said that the 1,000 emus are firing towards us.
Towards the dam, and so
We must protect the dam at all costs.
so they decided to go to the dam, obviously, and because they could get there ahead of the emus, lie in wait, and be ready for them. Ambush,
They
ambush
camouflaged
attack.
in the dam.
Yep. Well, not in the dam, by the dam.
Fucking,
Dave's
it's
not
like he
even
doesn't
listening.
listen. It's nice to sit by a river.
Yeah.
To hide by a dam.
Imagine if they were inside the dam, like breathing. You know how in action movies,
I mean,
often
look.
They're
To be
breathing
honest,
through,
Dave,
like
it's
a piece of bamboo.
Yeah.
They're
It's a bit
breathing there,
far-fetched.
and then the
They make
emu
a
comes in.
snorkel.
They come up and just cut the throat of the emu.
Dave, I mean, some of these scenarios you've said so far are a bit of fun, but that is getting a bit
They're
silly.
a bit wacky, aren't they?
This is a fucking emu war. What is happening?
That's what I'm trying to say. Could you take it a bit more seriously?
All right,
please?
sorry. I'm so sorry. Several emus, I presume, are about to die.
When the birds
Wait, how many
arrived,
people die?
they opened fire.
The birds
The birds. Oh no, they've got even bigger machine guns than us.
Hold.
1,000 birds
Fire when ready.
ambushed by machine gun fire,
Oh. That's kind
and a small handful only was killed.
What, so they still only got a couple.
They split up and they just go off in packs, and they just can't. They're not fast enough to get them. The emus are just good
at being emus.
at getting away. They make a fast getaway. I read reports that had come out at the time suggesting the emus in each pack had a leader, like a big bird leading them out, and brigadier type. And they stood out the front basically, and they were kind of acted like a lookout, alerting the rest to when the soldiers were approaching.
They're playing
my
Mad Jack Churchill style bagpipes.
And this sort of does suggest that they do have a bit of the emus were like pretty.
They were being hunted. They weren't necessarily being malicious or like they.
No, I mean the emus were living in their own country.
Yeah,
And they'd lived here for quite a while.
long time.
And then farmers all of a sudden came and fucked up what they were doing.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh, I just realized we're the bad guys.
Yeah, humans.
Oh no.
It's nearly always the case.
Not again.
It's always us.
Fuck. Here I thought these were like crazy psychopathic, like horrible emus.
No, they're just emus. Just going about their day.
I thought that they their ideology was death.
No.
They wanted to inflict it on humans.
No, they weren't. They weren't even killing. They were just
Of
ducking
course
and
they
weaving.
weren't. They're fucking emus.
But they've made people leave their homes, man.
How's an emu
But
going
I
to
mean,
kill
they
you?
were
They
in their
tapped on the
home
door.
for months.
Tapped on the door and said, if you don't leave, we're going to burn this house down.
Yeah, it is a little bit like, come on, can we all live together in harmony?
Yeah, when they say that the emus are driving them from their home, it's just like, well, just go out there and go shoo.
Yeah, they probably looked out the window and saw one emu and went, pack the car, Barb, we've got to get out of here.
Just go out and like bang some pots together and startle them and they'll run away.
They don't need machine guns, they need a couple of pots. That's what they needed.
Fire.
Fire the pots. Go away. Get out of here. Wow, 1,000 of them just ran away.
Genuinely, the emus would have been like, nah.
prop.
This weight's pretty good.
Yeah, I like
But
weight.
thank you
Whose
for
side are
your...
you on?
Definitely the
Are
emu
you an
side.
emu?
I'm an emu on the inside.
We
Scare
found
him.
the mole.
Dave, scare him away. Go on, get him.
Get out of here, Matt. Go on.
Go on, shoo.
Matt, you've had your full. Come on.
Did your mum used to hiss at cats, at stray cats? You go,
Hey, Dave.
No, because my mum was not some sort of witch doctor.
Dave, pass me that muesli bar. I'm really comfortable here.
oh no, he's settling. He's driving us from the
Oh, no,
podcast.
hang on.
Hey, is
studio.
that... What kind of bread is that? Is it made from wheat?
That is a wheat-free bread.
Oh, wow. Bloody hell.
Oh, no.
Nah, I'll take it anyway. Give it over. Give it over. Come on, mate. I feel real good here. Can't we all be friends? Oh, I love it here on your little farm.
Can.
I don't want you to leave. But is it cool if me and 19,000 of my mates
Just
crash here forevermore?
Forevermore.
Cool.
Really, the farmers were being a bit unreasonable, not letting 20,000 emus
Yeah.
just hang out
Just-
whenever they want.
yeah,
I reckon it'd be nice.
Yeah, we're cool. We're cool.
We cool.
Oh, they'd poo a lot though, wouldn't they?
We
Oh.
poo. We poo.
I think
So Major Meredith stated that each mob had its leader, right? And they keep watch while the rest of its pack eats the wheat. So that they go nuts on the wheat, and there's an emu out the front sort of whistling, going, if they see someone, they go, hey boys and girls.
so. Are
Yes,
you
see, boys and girl emus.
the whistling, genuinely whistling?
Yeah, they'd whistle, right? And then they'd give a signal. If they saw soldiers approaching, they'd change the tune from just normal whistling to the land down under Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree.
Oh shit! Run!
Yeah. That's the signal, boys. And they're just like going, just getting a little bit more weight, and they're tucking it into their backpack. And then they head off. So, like, they had a system in place, is what I'm trying to say, and that I thought was pretty cool. Because you think of emus
clever.
as being the biggest, dumbest idiots in the world, right? That's what you guys think of.
Biggest, dumbest idiots in the world. With
Yeah.
tiny, dumb wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crack ostrich.
But there's a couple of things that make you feel like they're slightly less dumb
Well,
than you think.
They know how to identify a hit song and whistle it as code, so that's good.
That's right, and
So
presumably write the song before it even exists.
Yeah.
because of these skills, I think the Kookaburra one is quite old. Anyway,
Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. I won't sing, sorry.
so because of these sort of strategies the emus deployed or employed, they did them both. They were able to outsmart the soldiers over the first few days of the battle. In fact, probably you could argue they outsmarted them for the first 9 days of the battle.
That would be quite embarrassing.
Yes.
From people that have just come from winning a world war,
I mean, we played a little part in it. I don't know if you could say.
winning a world war, and now you can't beat the
You ask
crack
anybody in the
ostrich.
world who won the First World War.
Australia.
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 What are you
Australia.
Australia one.
Australia. Australia won.
Wait, are you asking people, at an Anzac Day march? Because you're going to get a different answer there.
That's a good point.
I mean, if you go and ask someone down at bloody, Ohio, say Akron on Independence Day,
The famous tire-based town.
I reckon you'll get an answer that goes something like,
Tire.
USA made tires.
That's right. You know the tires on the Jeeps? We made those. So
Very
we
nice.
won the war. Akron, Ohio, baby.
And at the time, you're also a baby.
Oh.
It's weird that the Acrons address you by your stage in life.
Yeah.
But that is how they do.
That's what
That
they
is
do.
how they do.
That's what they do, old man. That's what they do.
Oh, are you doing an Akron at me?
Yeah.
I just got Akroned.
They Akron ja.
Can't believe
Dan
it.
Akron.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare take his name in vain. Nah, go on. Good on you. So after the first 9 days of the war, there was very little success for the Australian army.
But if you look at it from the other side, which people often forget to do, the emus are kicking ass.
They are kicking us. They'd lost a few good emus, but a few good birds, but
But they got a
all
lot
in
of
all,
weight. Got a lot of weight.
But a flesh wound overall to the overall health of their crew. Mm-hmm. And at this stage, the war was called off. Basically, the Australian Army's like,
They retreated.
we
White
retreat.
flag. We're
White
done.
flag, we're done. We're out.
Fuck this.
Major Meredith declared that the emus were impossible to defeat.
Oh my god.
That is just pretty embarrassing.
Put out some poison.
He was.
That's what you got to do. You got to poison the pellets.
Come on.
There's no pellets.
It's like
So
dealing
I
with
probably
any
should have. I
pest.
should have opened with that at the top. No pellets involved.
Well, it's a different story, and if they didn't put that in the press release, they'd look pretty silly.
Yeah. So Meredith was quoted as saying, "If we had a military division with the bullet carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world."
What?
What does that mean?
I don't understand that at all.
It basically means
we
if we
could-
could somehow train these birds.
we could rule the world
And he actually spent the rest of his days trying to teach
in a psych
emus
ward.
to shoot machine guns with limited success.
An admirable effort.
Is this true?
No, of course,
Oh,
of course
Come
it's
on,
bloody not.
Dave.
The guy sounds like a madman.
As
He
the
said they
smartest
can-
person on the podcast, I'm embarrassed that you.
He
had to
said
ask
they
that
can
question.
face machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks.
Well, that
What?
sounds like a lie.
I think it's just because they don't know what it is.
They don't have armor like a tank. Unless I've misunderstood emus for a long time.
Or tanks.
Yes, that's right. Tanks are actually covered in feathers and can't fly, much like an emu.
The Zulu warriors were like a fierce warrior, right? They were obviously...
Yeah, in Africa.
Because he says that the emus are like Zulus whom even dum-dum bullets could not stop.
What?
So I don't know if he's saying like they're even better warriors.
Then Zulu warriors.
Famously some of the best ever.
Okay.
Is
I think he's a
this
bit
a guy...
mental.
I don't think he's a bit mental. I think this is a guy who's just been beaten by a flock
Yeah.
of birds.
And he's like,
Yeah.
No.
You should have seen him.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you think. You
Yeah.
think it would have been easy. Well, I'll tell you what. They're like tanks and Zulu warriors. And if they had gun ability, if they had trigger fingers, I mean, God help us all. Honestly. To be honest, I reckon if we can, we should just kill ourselves. Because there is no way we will stop them, and they're coming for us. They're coming for our jobs, they're coming for our wives, and our husbands.
There is no shame in being beaten by the best. I've said that before.
Was that at that time I beat you up?
Yeah, there's no shame in being beaten by the best.
Beaten by the bop.
This
Hashtag beaten by the bop. Yes!
This old report. Good, that's a good hashtag. Hey, go on, another old reference. Remember where, for a little while, Keen for Pain really took off?
I've mentioned Keen for Pain today.
Okay, great.
And you ignored it.
I
but
mean,
the listeners will hear it.
but I can't believe that over all this time, someone messaged me and said, "Equal opportunity. What about hashtag Keen for Bean?"
Oh. I don't like that.
How do you feel about
I
that?
don't like it.
Oh, okay. So sometimes equal opportunity is good, and sometimes it's not. Well,
Sometimes it makes Jess feel uncomfortable.
It's not the equal opportunity that I have a problem with. I just don't like this. Just don't like that combination of words.
Yeah, there's someone.
Keen for bean. I don't like that. Anyway,
Right.
thank you for equal opportunity, I guess.
There's I feel some remorse there.
Hashtag beaten by the bop.
Beaten by the bop. All right.
No shame, no shame.
The report back in the day also quoted an emu hunter, and this guy was
Oh, very good.
all he did
It's
was
Mick
kill it.
Dundee all over again.
That's all he did. He was Mick Dundee, emu hunter. This is before he got into Crocs.
Sure.
And he said there's only one way to kill an emu.
You gotta skin it alive.
I quite like this because he then immediately lists two ways.
Brilliant.
There's only one way to kill an emu. Shoot him through the back of the head with his mouth closed, or through the front of his mouth with his mouth open. That's how hard it is.
What?
So if you shoot it in its face with
Or its
the
neck.
with the mouth
or its-
closed.
What?
Yeah. It's
Hang
like-
on, but if you shoot it in the back of the head, it will penetrate its skull, go through its brain, but if its teeth are closed, its beak is closed, it will bounce backwards.
It'll
Somehow
explode its head, I guess.
It'll
Oh my
heal the brain
God.
on the way back out.
Well, I think what happens is emus have such tiny, dumb pea brains that you can shoot it through the head, and as long as the bullet has an exit point,
Yeah.
it'll
Through
be
the
fine.
And they do breathe through their mouth, like you said.
Yeah, so
and they're always going.
open. So I'm picturing him like holding their beak closed,
Shooting at the back of the head.
He's blown his hand off multiple times, which is hard to do because really you only get one hand per hand.
One hand per hand.
So
I've
you
always said that.
I've always said that too. It's funny that we both said that, but I mean, it makes sense because it's a universal truth.
One hand per hand.
One hand per hand. I've always said it. Jess has too. All right.
Dave, you always said that?
Never said that.
That'd be right.
Say it. It feels good.
Try it.
One hand per hand.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. It sounded great.
Yeah, I feel great.
Good for you.
A report. Have you heard of the Argus newspaper?
Yes.
Any historical report about Australia
Always
seems
comes
to
from the
reference
Argus.
to the Argus.
Yeah.
It was a big paper in Melbourne for a little while. A report in the Argus newspaper in 1932 suggests the farmers
year.
were not happy with the withdrawal, stating
Not happy with the withdrawal method.
yeah,
It works for some. That's all I say. That's all I say.
the farmers were ahead of their time. They're like, can we honestly
Can we just stop
just
that?
a condom or something? Is that what the withdrawal method is? It's pulling out before ejaculation, right?
Look, I was trying to scoot around without saying it cleverly.
It's before you splooge, you remove. Is that it? Dave? Dave, is that it?
I can confirm.
I was about to take a sip of water and I'm really glad I didn't because that would have gone everywhere. Much like the splooge.
It's a real mess. I know,
Much like
this episode is a genuine
It's very
sploogey
hot.
mess.
Sorry.
It is so hot. In
much
here.
like
a cup of
Splooging.
warm splooge. Oh, it wasn't in a cup. Removal method and find a nearest mug or cup, a receptacle, decant. Is that what you're doing? You're sort of decanting the splooge.
Please stop.
oh my god.
You don't want to.
Also, who the fuck says splooge?
I don't know, but it's fun. I don't reckon it's been said in a long time.
I don't think I've ever said that.
I'm bringing it back.
I think I have either.
Splooge. It's got like it really.
so
It's
great.
got like
It's
pictures.
visceral.
Yeah, it's visceral.
Much like
Is it onomatopoeic?
Yeah.
Splooge.
oh no.
Only on Boxing Day for Dave. When his urethra is
Stop
at his biggest. That's one for people listening a couple of weeks back. All right, look, you don't have to explain everything, Matt. Move on. A report in the Argus newspaper in 1932 suggested the farmers were not happy, stating they were alarmed at the Defence Department's decision to recall the machine gun party, which they thought had been starting to eradicate the emu pest. The settlers state that after overcoming preliminary difficulties, as in not being able to shoot any of them, the gun party had begun to make an impression on the ravaging hordes. Ravaging hordes. That's as it was reported at the time. The decision to bail led to much ridicule for the Minister for Defence, and he was started to be pejoratively referred to as the Minister for the Emu War in Parliament.
It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, so he
But the
became a bit of
failed-
a joke.
Yeah.
Not only did he start a war against emus,
He didn't finish
well,
the
I
war.
mean, I imagine if they went in and just took him out, it would never have been referred to as a war. It was only referred to as a war as it became like
Right.
a fair fight almost, like a battle of two equals.
Well, no. One was more equal than the other.
Yeah.
These birds, if we could arm them, we'd rule half of Russia.
So, yeah, you start putting like jetpacks on them, and they can now fly as well.
can fly.
Their one weakness.
I would love to take a flightless bird, like a penguin in a plane. Look, mate, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Oh, that'd be
It'd be
nice.
so cute. And just put his head. So imagine if you were in another plane and you looked over and there was just a penguin looking out like the window, sitting in like economy.
Oh.
I'm not a flightless bird. And
Is
then
that
it
what
gives you like
is that what
gives you
the forks?
the forks.
What is a penguin?
The penguins have
Yeah,
No.
it's got a flipper and it flips you off.
it flips the bird. That's where it comes from.
Oh wow.
That worked really well. Thank you very much. Pierce had started to have pressure built against him from the farmers, being like, "Come on, mate, you're making some real inroads there. What are you doing? You can't leave us now. I reckon we got them. We got them where we want them, on the ropes." And he's like, "Nah, they want to be on the ropes. They're rope and doping you."
Yeah.
They love the rope.
He succumbed to the farmers' pleas, and only 2 days later, he after he first cancelled the offensive,
Cancel the cancel.
he cancelled it and ordered a second offensive.
Wow.
2 days. So this is a guy who is pretty bloody.
He's flipping and flopping.
He's a decisive
He's roping and
politician.
doping.
It is estimated that the first offensive was able to successfully kill about 300 of the 20,000 birds. I don't know, what does that work out as a percentage, D-Dub, Mr. Maths?
Like 3%.
3%. Not a great amount. Or is it less than that? I feel like I think it must be 1.5%. Anyway, look, because of the 2 in 20. Anyway, look, we're getting bogged down in maths. Come back to me. We're not going to hear Dave for about 10 minutes. He's going to be working this one out in his head calculator.
I'm going to go back to the corner and blow my nose. So you
All
just
right,
keep
great.
talking.
Well, this is
Nobody
going
will be
to
listening.
allow me to get through a few paragraphs here.
Finally.
The second assault had Major Meredith and his troops again opening fire on the big dumb birds, eventually ramping it up to killing around 100 emus a week. So that was sort of at the peak. But the mission was again called off in December 1932, around a month after it began. Major Meredith estimated that all up they killed about 986 emus with their 10,000 rounds, or just
So that's
about.
5%.
Ended up being about 5%. My maths doesn't fully add up there with the 100 a week. So it was obviously, that all rotated. Jess is very close to my head with her sickness, and I do not appreciate. She's breathing on
Jess,
me.
get back in
like
your
a
bubble.
maniac. Get back in your protective bubble. You bloody.
I was gonna my
you're-
bopple. I was just gonna read.
The bopple. Get her in the
I
bopple.
was gonna read the next sentence with him, and it's gonna be real funny.
Oh, sorry, I fucked that little bit of fun.
Yeah, you fucked it.
What
you
a
big
jerk.
fuck. You big old fuck.
Major Meredith estimated that all up. I've already said that.
So they've killed.
You would have helped
You
me
needed
out.
me.
You say
Yeah.
that they've killed 1,000. Is that about?
They've killed about 1,000 with about. So in the end, they killed one in.
1 in 20.
But in terms of 10,000 rounds, 1,000 emus. That's 1 in 10. That's not too bad.
It's not great though.
But 1 in 10.
They're pretty big targets.
They
I reckon
are.
I could
But
hit
also-
more
And
than
that's
1 in 10.
assuming that they used all the bullets.
Well, that'd be way.
Well, yeah, they did say they used nearly all the 10,000.
Oh, wow.
bullets.
Okay.
Wow.
On top of this, Meredith also claimed that approximately 2,500 birds had died as a result from injuries of the war, which obviously probably equates to long, slow, horrible deaths.
Oh.
Don't you think? They'd be.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he's estimating all this. They're small teams going, yep, I reckon, look.
How many did you kill? Oh, about 100? Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Extrapolate.
If we all
they
killed
just-
100 each.
They rounded up. I like rounded numbers.
Yeah, so 100 rounds up to 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 rounds up to 10,000. That's 50% of them gone.
They're done.
Just-
You'll never see an emu ever again.
Nah, they're I assume
extinct
that
now.
emus are extinct. Is
Yeah,
that right?
they're done.
No. But
Oh.
apparently word of all this got back to England, places like England and stuff, and animal activists were unhappy. They're killing the I was going to say limited numbers.
Limited edition.
Limited edition emus.
God only made 40 of these.
But the whole point of it is because there were so many.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not saying kill them, but I'm just saying they certainly weren't endangered and still aren't.
It just
Well,
could have
they're-
been nicer ways to go about it, I think.
Yeah.
But can you think of a nicer way?
Yeah, dynamite.
Just ask them. Ask them to go away.
I reckon, just go, look, to be
Bang
honest.
some pots.
Yeah, so you reckon a bit of pot banging, failing that, a bit of negotiating,
Yeah.
a bit of a treaty.
I reckon just farm something they don't want to eat.
Toads.
Toads. Cane toads.
Poison.
Farm some toads. Farm some poison toads.
Valencia oranges.
Valencia
Ew,
oranges.
Oh,
juicing
no.
oranges. No,
What are
no,
you doing?
no.
Nah, Barry, I swear, next season, they're all the rage. Louis Vuitton loves them.
Not even the emus will touch them. Loving them navels, though. Gary went against the grain of wheat, which everyone else was going, and he grew.
Navel oranges.
And the emus, that was quite a booming trade. Anyway, we're nearly done, right?
Great, I'm
emus,
so hot.
Emus don't like hand fruit.
Hand fruit?
Mm.
What?
They're foot fruit
They
types.
they prefer something like a big one, like a pineapple or a coconut.
They don't know.
Something with a bit of challenge.
Something you don't just hold in your hand
Yeah,
and
a
eat.
hand fruit. Have you never heard the phrase hand fruit?
It's a dumb phrase.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
A hand fruit.
Hand fruit, apple, banana.
No, I understand.
As opposed to
Just-
like
no,
a
Jess, I don't think
knife
you do.
and fork
As
fruit.
opposed to something that
Spoon
requires a
fruit.
bit of preparation.
Imagine a fruit that you can hold in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hand fruit.
Banana. Peach.
Oh, hand fruit.
That's a stone fruit. They're ones you eat with a stone.
Yeah.
With your
You gotta
hand.
smash them with a stone with your hand. So it's a hand stone
I eat
fruit.
pineapple with my hand once I've cut it down
Yeah,
into
see,
little
there's the
bits.
prep. The
That's
prep.
that's a nice
I hold the fork in my hand and I
That's
stab the pineapple.
Interesting, Dave.
God,
I need a ruling on that one.
I'm going to have to do some maths on this as well.
Okay, we'll talk to
Crunch
you
the
in half an
numbers,
hour.
all right? There won't be a half an hour, I'm afraid, you guys. Despite the problems encountered with the cull/war, the farmers of the region once again requested military assistance in 1934, 1943, and 1948.
And,
And
each time
were
they
knocked back,
they said no.
Yeah.
So what was happening? They were just getting bigger and bigger, the army.
Of emus.
Yeah.
The emu army.
Is it multiplying? Is it still going? Is there like 40 million emus out there?
Yeah, you can't actually
They
see
outnumber
the ground.
people.
Have you seen a satellite image of Western Australia? You know how it's kind of that emu grey colour?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
that was-
because of the emus.
I thought that was just trick of the eye.
If you go for a walk in WA, are you walking along the backs of emus?
Yeah, you're about 6 foot in the air.
Wow.
Yeah, and when
That's a bit tall. Because you're probably on their backs.
Yeah, but
not on their heads.
but you'd be more than
Yeah, that's true.
you
So
know,
yeah,
you're about 6 foot tall, so you'd probably be like
10 odd.
10
foot.
odd.
10 odd foot.
You are a bit odd.
And
Of
when-
grunt. Is that a thing?
when they have
It's a
them,
Russell Crowe band, I believe.
no, that's 30 odd foot of
Oh,
grunt.
30 odd foot. Bloody hell.
He's huge.
He has got a lot of grunt, that man.
And a lot of feet.
God bless Australia. Am I right? New Zealand.
Technically
All right.
Kiwi, yeah.
All right.
We'll take him.
I'll bloody take him. God
We
bless
take everything from New Zealand.
Australia. After he won the Oscar award for some sort of a thing,
Gladiator.
he goes, what was it? He read a little poem he wrote. He goes,
I love a sunburned
says
country.
he goes something like,
There was movement at the station.
Thank
for
you.
the word had passed
It was something
around.
like, thanks a lot, New Zealand. God save the Queen. God bless America. But thank Christ for Australia.
Oh, and that is when there was not a dry eye in the house.
He melted. You know, there was moisture coming from all sort of orifices.
All of them.
That's right. Oh, the withdrawal method was very popular that day.
Butts were
Yeah.
weeping.
Well, mainly the eye orifice, obviously, but
Jesus,
also the
you-
mouth. And
sure,
the
we
butt.
we could rank them. We could rank them if we wanted
There,
to.
don't
there
want
wasn't
to.
a
I don't
dry
want to.
butt in the house.
There was not. There was something going around that day,
I don't-
and it was nasty.
He was making
whole-
people feel quite sick in the stomach.
Please stop.
That poem made me poo myself.
You guys have made me start doing poo jokes. I don't like it.
Yay!
Matt, I loved that. Best part of the podcast.
All right. Anyway, in the years since, emus have continued to prove annoying to the farmers.
But they won the war.
They won the war. Fuck. They're undefeated. That was their only war they've ever been
Good on
in.
them.
Well,
they
like
didn't,
two
even,
wars,
they didn't
really.
even mean to get in it.
If we'd called up America for backup, then maybe we would have finished them off.
Well,
Yeah,
they would have
they
just
would have
brought over
nuked
the,
them.
They would have brought over the ostriches.
Ah, where else? Just from Africa?
Nah, America's got them, I reckon.
Yeah, they probably do. They bloody got everything.
Call up the San Diego Zoo. How many ostriches have they got? 2?
We'll
I
take
reckon they
them.
would have rolled some Ohio tires at him. This will confuse them.
There's only 3 ways to
The
kill it.
emus are just like, what the fuck is going on? They head back to the sea.
Where they're presumably they're from.
Yeah. They got great necks for it.
They can go pretty deep.
Yeah.
What is happening?
There's only 2 ways to kill an emu. Shoot them in the back of the head with the mouth open. Front of the face.
Or roll a
Roll a
tire.
tire. Specifically from Ohio.
Akron, ideally, if you can.
Akron's my brand. I've always been an Akron man.
I'd love people to send in some Ohioan facts so I can build on my knowledge.
If you've got some Acrons on your car, send in a photo. I'd love to see some Acrons.
Is that even a thing? Tell us if it's a thing.
Yeah, possibly a mismemory.
That's got to be a mismemory.
Probably
a
Is
mismemory.
Akron a real place?
It's been probably not
It's
in
a great
Ohio.
name if
That'd
it's
be
not.
the best.
I reckon Akron, Ohio is definitely a place.
If it's not, but you say it's a good place. Should we found a place called Akron if it's not real?
Yes.
We'll build it on
Can
a
I-
tire
can
industry.
I be the
I'm so close to
treasurer?
the end of this report.
Okay, let's finish so I can go home.
So in the years since, the emus have continued to prove annoying.
Sure.
And farmers
They're really bad at puns.
farmers have attempted and governments have attempted other solutions, including they erected a huge emu-proof fence.
I thought you were going to say a huge emu monument to appease the thousands of emus. All right, we killed a few of you. Here's a memorial. Stay the fuck away from the wheat.
And
Didn't
yeah,
work.
it didn't work.
A
no.
big fence. Well,
Big
it
fence.
doesn't have to be that big, does it? Because they can't fly.
No, but they've bloody got a great leap on them.
But just make it like a bit taller than them.
Is it an emu? An emu high
Sorry,
fence?
we got to finish this. I got to email the government.
They accidentally built a 100.
Dear government, stop. I don't know why I wrote that. Stop. But I'm in the rhythm of it now. Stop. Oh, great.
Were you implying just that they built a 100-foot tall fence?
Well, he said it was really big.
The emus will never get through this. Well, they won't, but they probably. You could have just cut it down a bit.
They just like
Could be
you know that leader emu's out the front whistling and stuff. He's also really good at lifting fences up, and he's just going waving them under.
Mm-hmm.
Just nonchalantly whistling.
And that's them, fluff.
Yeah, that's the noise they make, isn't it?
Yeah, they fluff their way through there. Splooging. A splooge of emus. That's the collective noun. Oh, God, a splooge of emus just got through my defences.
Quick, wire the governor.
We didn't even give credit where it was due at the top of the show as to who suggested this topic, who put it in the hat.
I'm going to assume it's an Australian.
Dr. Splooge himself.
You'll remember this guy
Or
potentially
herself.
because he's had one through before. He also suggested Captain Jack Churchill.
Oh, that's two in a pretty recent...
Yeah, his name's Steve at Shardays 909.
yeah.
Shardays. I would never forget Shardays.
Oh, awesome.
Steve,
So-
thank you. You are 2 from 2, my friend.
Great
How about the
suggestions.
luck of being drawn out?
Twice, yeah.
It's become a bulging hat.
It's huge.
It's-
That's very cool.
it's
Also, both obviously, all the topics we do are great, but 2 great suggestions, Steve.
And the hat is so big an emu could not get in. It's an emu-proof
or
hat.
Yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because there was
there is
one.
an emu slowly starving in there. I will not help it. Nature will take its course.
It's not starving of ideas though, because there's a lot of bloody good ones in there.
Oh my god.
I can't feed my family ideas, Matt. Shut up, emu.
Shut up and bloody just enjoy it.
Hey, enjoy the knowledge.
They're all, but I mean, just having the idea isn't enough. I mean, we don't give them any access to Wi-Fi in the hat, so
So he
they're
reads
just like, what
words.
is what does the Emu War mean?
Yeah.
Shouldn't I know about this?
Oi, Dad. Do you know anything about the emu war?
Father,
Father.
I rise far. Are you done?
I am done. That's the end of the report.
That
Thanks
was
so much for
very
listening.
good.
Shardays, Steve, you've done it again. Slow clap for you, mate. I appreciate that. That was
That was really cool.
I have heard people speak of the emu. Once I was in Newcastle I don't remember where I was when I heard about the emu war.
Oh, you never forget.
At a Chinese takeaway. No, Indian takeaway.
Oh no.
Sorry, I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Sorry.
Why are you lying?
Why would you lie to us?
Right to our faces.
Dave, I thought we were all friends. I consider you guys like family now.
What a low dog.
I'm sorry, Shardays.
Anyway, great topic.
Now,
great report.
Great, and we've also got to thank the people of our Patreon supporters who brought you this episode with their support and also voted for that topic.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Good job, everybody.
You can only
Well
assume
done.
that the other topics were not as good because we trust you to pick the best.
Yeah.
They jumped on this one in a big way. The other 2 topics, I can't tell you what they were, but also great topics.
Oh, the kangaroo war and the koala war.
Yeah.
But we'll get to them maybe. Who knows?
Well,
Who bloody knows?
I'm
definitely
going
will.
to sneeze again.
we also
Sorry.
would like to remind our already Patreon supporters that our Christmas cards, if you're listening to this on the day the episode comes out or the day after, which is December 15th, this is the final day, December 15th, to support the Patreon in order to get a do-go-on Christmas card sent to you wherever you are in the world featuring my toe print and a message from Matt and Jess.
You're
not even going to put a message
You're
in.
not going to write it? You're not even going to put like sign DW?
Or does the toe say everything?
Thousands of words.
Sure.
A toe print is thousands of
Are
words.
you worried somebody could like get your toe print and then clone you?
I'm worried that they'll break into like bank vaults of the future where everyone has to scan their toes.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's just let's then set up your bank vault with your tongue print then.
Okay, and I'd also like to say,
And
little
don't drink
stipulation,
anything hot.
if you are a member of the Pink Panther robbery group, you are
Yeah.
not allowed access to my toe.
How would that happen? How would you know?
There's no way you could possibly know that, Dave.
I just know.
I'd be honoured if a member of the Pink Panther robbery group saw your toe.
That's what I.
I'd be honoured by that somehow.
You'd be honoured for my
What an
toe,
honour.
for my toe
bloody-
print.
What an
To be
honour.
seen.
That'd be so honourable. for us. Hey, this is the time of the episode where we get to direct gratitude more specifically to a couple of our patrons.
Yes.
Patrons. And I'd like to kick us off here by giving my deepest condolences and gratitudes because he's having a tough time, possibly.
Sure.
But a really good guy, and I think he's coming through it pretty well.
Great.
Pretty hard.
He's almost got one of those names that makes me feel like he's made up. He's got a superhero's alter ego name.
Cool.
You know, the alliterative name, alliteration type.
Yes.
Oh boy, it is. Have we said it's hot in here?
It's so hot.
I should not be wearing my Santa outfit.
Yeah, it's weird that you are, but
But we did just do the photo shoot for the postcards, guys, so it's going to be pretty.
Photo shoot is a loose term for what we just did.
I mean, we shot some photos.
True. We shot some
some
hoops.
emus.
We shot some emus. Great.
Through the head,
But anyway, this
but
guy
the mouth was open, so they lived. It was really bizarre.
also a
still
superhero
downstairs.
in his spare time, but a great guy and listener. He listens while he fights crime, I believe.
Emus.
The
He
man,
fights emus.
Josh Jones.
Oh, Josh
Oh,
Jones.
Josh Jones.
Yeah, you're right,
I've
that's a
heard
good
of him.
one.
I've heard of his superhero character. Matt, can you tell us what his alias is? Which superhero is Josh
Yeah,
Jones?
who's Josh Jones?
Josh Jones, yeah, he's nighttime baby boy.
Ooh. No. What does he pretend to be a baby at night? And then when crime gangs try and rob banks, he's inside the vault and he goes, wah, and takes them out with the power
Baby
of
boy.
toddling.
He punches
He
him in the
toddles at him.
face and he goes, "Suck on that, dummy."
Suck
Which
on that
is-
dummy.
Which is
Yeah.
like what we would call pacifier.
Pacifier, yeah. Are you pacified? Because he's bilingual. He can talk both Australian
And
English
American.
and American. And Scottish. And all the
What's he
British
say
ones.
for the Scottish one?
Wee dummy, you fuckhead.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's Australian. That's Australian
Wee
and
dummy, you
Scottish.
fuckhead.
Fuckhead's probably more Aussie, I
Hey,
think.
Josh Jones has got a lot of gratitude, and that's great. Good on you, Josh Jones. You know who else deserves a little bit of gratitude?
Is it? I have a funny fit. Jess, you've been building up to this for a while, but you can thank me off here, mate. Thank you. No, I appreciate you trying to. You're going to do it in front of everyone, but I don't need that. I'm not the kind of guy who needs public adoration.
Matt,
and-
it's really hot in here, and I want to go home.
cool. All right.
So I'll thank you.
That was the
another
opposite
time.
of gratitude.
Yeah,
I'd have gratitude towards you if you shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
I'd be grateful if you just piped down. Okay. Now this person, I feel like in her spare time / her retirement in the future, she's going to run a really successful boutique florist.
Starting to think
you
this
did-
isn't me.
Are you doing predictions?
Well, Matt did, and I wanted to say
Matt,
something.
Matt talked about what this guy currently does. You're talking about someone's future. I love you.
Yeah.
I like, yeah,
You've got.
seeing in the
You're
future.
tapping into.
But I'm also worried that like she'll be like, "What the fuck? Well, I'm not going to do that." But I mean it in a nice way. I think that's a really lovely thing to do.
floristry.
A really cute boutique florist.
Oh, I'm so into that.
And like she makes a good living from it. Like she's very comfortable
Oh.
and she's sort of known in her community
She's the best.
and she has the best time. And that's obviously Janine Stephen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Don't you just
Janine
see that for
Almost didn't
Janine?
need to name her.
I know, and I know you knew who I was talking about, but our listeners don't necessarily know. So I just thought
Janine Stephen.
Janine
That's a good
Stephen.
name. We surround ourselves with good names.
making such a mess here. Okay. There we go.
Janine Stephen. I'm going to say that over and over as I go to sleep tonight because I think it's really soothing. Janine Stephen.
Guys, you know what I love?
What do you love?
When someone is so great, they demand not one but two first names,
Yeah.
and then
Janine Stephen.
but then somehow single-handedly top that name somehow, and just pick the two best male names I've ever heard and have them in one combo.
All right.
Okay.
Think of your two favorite names.
Yeah.
Yes, Gary Johnson.
Okay, close. Jess?
Christopher Walken.
Walken is the first name. I mean,
What?
Johnson is the first name
Oh,
also.
what-
Look, we both fucked that pretty badly.
Christopher-
What about
if I
Dave
could-
Matthews?
I just want to say that
Dave Matthews.
you can't call it Kid Matthews.
Dave Matthew? Matthew David.
It would be great if I called...
Craig David.
Yes, I'm walking away.
I heard someone said on... I'm sorry, Jess. But someone said the other day that they had once heard of a guy who had Craig David beard syndrome, where he
What?
could only grow his beard in the manicured
Craig David had a beard?
formation of the Craig David beard.
Wow.
That's someone lying to me.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now.
That is someone who is too embarrassed to say that they shape their beard. No, I'm talking about the
On a
two
Monday.
best names. Also, imagine if I called my kid Walken Warnicky.
Oh, that's
is a
good.
great name.
That's cute, actually.
Now, I would like to say a big thank you to the love of our lives. I think it's fair to say we can announce this.
Wowza.
Oh, wow.
Grant Travis.
Grant Travis.
Say it a couple of times.
Grant
Grant
Travis.
Travis. Grant Travis.
It makes you feel good.
Grant
Travis.
Travis.
Grant Travis.
Grant Travis.
That is-
Grant Travis?
Travis.
Grant Travis.
Oh.
Travis. It sounds like a word that
exotic.
means
Oh my
something
god!
I'd
I've
like
just
to
looked up
know.
where Grant lives.
Oh, Akron?
Fuck, that'd be amazing.
Aberdeen,
Oh, Scotland.
Scotland.
That's awesome.
So it's more like Grant.
He'll understand what I meant when I
Travis.
said suck on that dummy,
Sorry.
fuckhead.
But yeah,
My
Grant, that
terrible
was for you.
accent
You
there,
Suck on the wee dummy. Oh, no, I'm not.
No, we've
Nah.
lost it.
Look, I've got, and I know that's probably on the surface offensive, but my great-great-grandparents were from Scotland, so I think I have a right.
Well, I don't know that you do.
I think I have a right,
Okay.
I own that country.
wee lassie. No, I love it over there. Great place. Scotland.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful. I was
Beautiful
there
neck of the
but
woods.
a few months ago, as was Dave.
You were there but a few months ago. I don't know. What does that
It sounds
mean?
like you were there every time except a few months ago. I was there, but a few months ago I wasn't.
Oh my
but
God.
I'm there. I'm back there now.
You both knew what I meant, you fuckheads.
I don't think Grant Travis knows.
He's having a good
It's
time.
so hot, I'm melting.
So thank you to all our Patreon supporters. We
Out my
absolutely
nose.
love you. You can get involved. The Christmas card offer. If you want one for Christmas by Thursday, December 15th, you have to sign up. We'll send that out to you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But remember, you can request no weird toe print.
No, I'm going to say
Also-
that you can't request because it is way too hard to keep track
Can
of.
I ask
No,
some
I think you can
clarification?
only if you request it. You got to put it in writing. And
Otherwise
you
you're
wanna,
getting it.
Like ASAP.
Yeah.
Get on there. We're sending them.
Some clarification, because we are listened to internationally.
Yeah, in Aberdeen.
Time zones, does it have to be by the 15th from where they are? How do we figure that out?
Make it 14th just to be safe.
What?
14th.
No,
So
well,
today.
Hey, maybe
Now,
we'll be a
you
little
do
bit.
it
Now,
now.
do it right
Yesterday,
now.
your time.
Yesterday, your time, sign up.
Nah, good on you. Just
Have
do
we
the
cleared that
15th,
up?
alright?
Australian Standard Time yesterday, okay?
Okay, you got it? We're like really far ahead of a lot of the time.
Look at the sun, and if it's up, you've missed your shot. You've missed your shot. That's the rule. That's the rule. But guys, well, we'll start linking to the live show that we weren't going to talk about. That Matt
I'm really
has
sorry
just
about that.
dropped the bombshell.
No, it was secrets.
We can't trust him with anything. I told
It's
him
like
my
that time when.
No!
Oh, I was just gonna say when
Don't tell you my PIN number that I just trusted you with.
Dave's PIN number is
No, Matt!
7. Oh,
No.
80.
Shut up!
No.
No.
Bovril.
780 Bovril. That's a cool name for a show. 780 Bovril.
Welcome back to 780 Bovril.
That's sick.
I think I was thinking about Billy Connolly because of Scotland, and
Bovril.
he used to do a bit about
He
Bovril.
did used to do a bit of that.
Anyway, what are we doing?
I need to go home now. I have to get up. In
You
a
two
matter
have
of
to get,
hours.
wherever you're listening, you have to turn this off and go home as well. You can tell your boss you quit.
Yeah, I think that's only fair.
But
Wrap this bad boy up, Davey boy.
Get in contact with us, of course, at Do Go On Pod for all the Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook account. dogoonpod@gmail.com. We're on the Patreon. We'll be linking out to all that kind of stuff. But thank you so much for listening. And until next time, Matt has one thing to say. Do you, Matt?
I was just going to say, please give us a 5-star review if you can be bothered. That just helps us in some way. Some
Yeah.
sort of
It
algorithm
only
thing.
takes you 30 seconds, and it makes us feel a minute's worth of betterness. So that's
Some of those little reviews warm the bloody cockles.
Yeah.
Oh, if you get a little reference in there to the pod, oh man,
Warm the cockles.
Warm the
Oh,
cockles.
fucking.
I've got to go and warm
Of
my
my
cockles.
heart, like the
What?
it's like it's a mean. It
Stop
means something
talking.
Matt.
nice.
Stop.
I've got to go. Thank you and goodbye.
Later.